AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Thomas, as he will be known from now on, I'm co-signing that. Thomas is our Mark Jackson for now, and we're looking for a Steve Kerr. We're looking for the baton. We have made a major coaching change before from a former champion, four-time champion in this New York Knicks organization who left a big-time Showtime team like the Warriors were with Steve Kerr.
OG hates right now. Hates his guts right now.
We
He's
all
an
do.
organization ruiner. That's what he said. I'm snitching.
The point is, Flea, Pat Riley, you dug up some dirt on him, doggy. Pat Riley, I had nothing but good relationships with all my players in reference to the 1990 resignation. Riley clarified that he'd resigned as a coach of the Lakers to take a break from coaching. Like other coaches, Kentucky's product reached a point where change was needed. After leading LA to an 1988 crowd, the team failed to figure prominently in the playoffs. The tipping point came in 1990 when the Lakers lost to the Phoenix Suns in the Western Conference Finals. He said families change, relationships change, but I had nothing but good relationships with all my players to the final day. Instead, Pat explained that the pressure of maintaining the Lakers' winning tradition had consumed him. He added that he reached the point where he was no longer enjoying what he was doing. Hence, the three-time Coach of the Year deemed it fit to step down and take a break. Riley opted to take a break. It did not follow that he was done with coaching. In fact, he took on the head coaching chores of the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat after his tenure with the Lakers. Ross proved that he still had the genius in him to take teams to another level. In fact, he won his fifth title with the Heat in 2006. Since stepping down in 2008, Riley has focused on being a Heat team president. Riley denied having any interest in the position, however, of the head coaching position. However, he admitted that he entertained the thoughts of returning to LA at one point, but no one tried to reach out to him. I have thought about returning to the Lakers only for a sentimental standpoint, but I was never pursued by them. Nobody officially contacted me. Considering the Lakers' turmoil, perhaps it was best for Riley to stay focused on the Heat. He built a great culture, which current and former players remain grateful for.
With what Riley did, leaving Showtime Lakers, right? Winning championships, being a part of that dynasty in LA. Coming over to the Knicks, and it just happened to be the Knicks, but just leaving that organization and going to another organization where they haven't won in years. There ain't no built-in guarantee that they're going to be a championship-level team. They got one superstar, Patrick Ewing. Everything else around him was, like you said, and like we all say, regular week. He takes that challenge, and then he does what he does. We don't win, but we are a finals team. We are one of the best teams in the league. My question for you is, does Steve Kerr have the balls to do it? Because that's ballsy for Pat Riley to do what he did. Does Steve Kerr have the balls to say, bye-bye to Golden State, I've done what I've done here, and go somewhere else where he has to, like, completely rebuild who he is as a coach, roster, all that type of thing? Is Steve Kerr capable of doing what Riley did?
I think he would, yes. Once Steph Curry, retires or whatever he does, I think Steve Kerr would take the challenge. If we had a good enough roster, he probably would have came to us. I think Steve Kerr doesn't get the credit he deserves. Listen, he played with the GOAT. He coached under GOATs. He was a GM. Now in Golden State, he coached a dynasty. He know what it is to be in that moment. And he's not a chump. So for me, I just think he fits the bill for a New York Knicks head coach. I think he has everything you need. He has the swag, he has the toughness, he has the mindset, he has the IQ, and he also has the experience in the history to talk to guys, let them know what it takes to win. I'm not saying that's the only coach that can help us, but for my fantasy, for something that's maybe, crazy, when we had the segment, it was, what's your dream coach? That's my dream coach. Now, there is other coaches that I think can help as well, but I do think, Flea, that Steve Kerr would take the challenge, because now I think that does nothing but upgrade his legacy, because his legacy is cemented. He's going down as one of the greatest coaches that ever lived, whether we want to believe that or not. He's definitely going to go down as probably top 10. I think now, if he's smart, which I think he is, if I go to New York and I win, or be competitive and get us to a finals and we look better, because to me, like you said, it's how you win, it's how you lose. We up here every time after Knicks rehab because we are upset, because it's how we lose. It's how we compete. It's how we look bad more than good night in and night out. So for me, I do agree. I do believe, Flea, that, and it was a great question, by the way, that I think Steve Kerr would take the challenge because now I think he has nothing to lose. Before that Golden State team, you got to kind of take that job. It's the Splash Brothers. You know what I mean? You can see what you can do with that. But now I think with his legacy being cemented, I think he would definitely take that challenge. And I think he would pass the challenge, to be honest with you. I think he can do exactly what Pat Riley did, and probably even much better because I think now the talent is a little better. At that time, you had a star Patrick Ewing. Now you got a Brunson, you have a Cat, you have an OG. So I think the talent he has more of, I would love it. I would love it.
Um, I just have to really give you props for even bringing up Pat Riley because we have been criticizing him the last couple of years on here, and we forget why Riley is Riley, why Jerry West, Pat Riley, Red Auerbach, these names are in the same place for a reason. And the fact that you went to Riley after he leaves the Showtime Lakers to show like, yo, this thing in Golden State, how does it end? That's the first thing I thought about when I read that article. That's what the thought I came to when you brought up Pat Riley. That was the Showtime Lakers. These Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry's constantly compared to Magic Johnson, and Steve Kerr is never compared to Pat Riley. And he earned his name on that sideline. Granted, Pat Riley became iconic because of it. The jacket, the Wall Street movie. Michael Douglas's character is based on Pat Riley or looks like Pat Riley. So there's something, he was a movie star looking dude on the sideline, and Steve Kerr really isn't that. But he is winning. He just won a couple years ago. We were talking about Ime Udoka. We talked about this offline earlier. The Knicks going after Steve Kerr would be ballsy. And that was my issue. We talked about it offline, Flea. The Knicks, it was a ballsy move to go after Jalen Brunson. That's another reason why Pat Riley is a ballsy dude, David Smith. The way he resigned against the Knicks and all that, he faxed in a letter saying, I resign because he was getting ownership stake with the Miami Heat. Does Steve Kerr have the balls to go to the Knicks? I would think so. He's weathered the storm over there in Golden State, Flea. That's a big deal. That's like being on the Lakers the last 10 years, it felt like. He was like the way that the Golden State Warriors fans on social media, he's gone through a lot of this New York shit that has taken over the world.
If you look at that dynasty for the Golden State Warriors, what they did through, let's say, a 10-year span, like he coached 3 different iterations of those teams. Like there was 3 different styles of Golden State Warriors that he won with. That 2015 team is very different than 17 and 18, which is very different than 22, right? They all different type of teams. Obviously the core is there. Steph, Draymond, Clay. The core is there. But in one instance, you got Kevin Durant. In another instance, you still got a young Steph Curry in them in 2015. And then you trying to figure out how to win with Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. So Kirk deserves a lot of credit for what he was able to do over there. I'm just saying, walking away from an organization that you've built comfort with, that you build familiarity with your players, it's a different ball game when you say, all right, I'm going to go over here and try to implement and have the same impact in this organization. Like everybody ain't Pat Riley or Phil Jackson. Like they had great players, but at the end of the day, they still went from one place and said, okay, I'm going to prove myself over here too, just so y'all know shit ain't sweet. I'm a real head coach. I'm one of them. I'm going down in history. So I'm just asking, is Kirk capable of that if we could bring him in the door?
Just real quick, just to respond, y'all both killed that. My thing is, I think, and I brought up Spo as well before everybody else. Let's understand that AllBall TV in the building. I think a lot of these coaches, you have it where you've been there for a while, and some guys may want a new challenge, may need a new change of scenery. Miami Heat lost again 10 straight, and like I said, Pat Riley over there is not looking good. You're losing superstar after superstar, it's not ending well. And then, like I said, even like a Steve Kerr, Curry is injured. Hopefully he gets well soon, but I don't see why Kerr would still coach there once Curry is gone. I don't see Curry playing another 4-5 years. I say tops maybe 2. So for me, I think these coaches are like players where they may want to look at another situation and a new challenge, but also say, I want to level up my historic job. So meaning like, yo, if I do this here, because some of these guys are solidified. But it's like, yo, if I can go to this organization and get them to the next level, because think about it, some of these coaches don't think like us. We nut fans. I could speak for myself. I win a championship every year. But some of these coaches deal with reality. Yo, the Knicks ain't been to a championship since the 90s. If I get them to the conference finals or to the championship, I'm going to be considered legendary.
AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.